Something absolutely insane is happening in Canadian politics right now, and it's rewriting everything we thought we knew about how economists become political leaders. Mark Carney, the former Bank of England governor who wasn't even officially running for prime minister 3 months ago, just saw his approval rating jump from 42% to 61% in 6 weeks, the fastest rise for any Canadian political figure in modern history. His Davos speech warning middle powers to unite or be on the menu didn't just change global geopolitics, it accidentally launched him to the top of Canadian politics. Meanwhile, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre, who was leading polls by 8 points in December, has watched his advantage completely evaporate. The race is now dead even, 43% Carney's Liberals versus 43% Poilievre's Conservatives. This is the story of how one speech transformed a technocrat into a populist hero. Let's rewind to December 2025. Mark Carney is UN Special Envoy on Climate Action, former Bank of England governor, former Bank of Canada governor, widely respected economist but not a politician. He's been rumored as a potential Liberal Party leader for years, but he's never committed, never declared, never shown real interest in the mess of electoral politics. Meanwhile, Pierre Poilievre, the charismatic Conservative leader, is dominating. His approval rating is 54%. And everyone assumes the next election will be a Conservative landslide. Poilievre's message is simple and effective. Trudeau's Liberals destroyed the economy, raised your cost of living, made Canada weak internationally. Time for change, time for common sense. Then comes January 20th, 2026. Carney gives that Davos speech. Middle powers will be at the table or on the menu. The line goes viral globally, but the impact in Canada is electric. Canadians who've spent years feeling squeezed between American demands and Chinese pressure suddenly hear someone articulating their frustration with clarity and vision. This isn't a politician making vague promises. This is an economist with international credibility explaining exactly what's wrong and exactly how to fix it. Within 72 hours of the speech, Canadian social media explodes with Carney for PM trending. Grassroots Liberal activists start petition campaigns. Major donors who'd been skeptical about the party's direction suddenly see hope. And the media starts asking the question, is Mark Carney about to enter politics? January 28th, Carney does an interview with CBC where he's asked directly, will you run for Liberal Party leadership and potentially Prime Minister? His answer is carefully calibrated but revealing. If I believed I could serve Canada best by taking on a different role, I would seriously consider it. If there's a way I can help navigate these challenges, I won't walk away from that responsibility. The media treats it like a declaration. Polling firms immediately add him to surveys, and the results are stunning. In a head-to-head matchup, Carney is at 48% to Poilievre's 47%. This is a man who's never run for office, tied with a seasoned politician. Why? Because Carney represents something Canadians are desperate for: competence, international respect, and a clear vision. Poilievre's message works when the issue is domestic, cost of living, housing, inflation, but Carney's Davos speech reframed the conversation to geopolitics, and on that terrain, Poilievre looks small. His answer to great power competition has been align closer with the United States, which after years of Trump tariffs and American unreliability doesn't inspire confidence. Carney's answer is build coalitions with Australia, Japan, South Korea, become a swing power both the US and China need, which sounds strategic and independent. February 14th, Valentine's Day, Carney makes it official. In a speech in Toronto, he announces he's seeking the Liberal Party leadership with the explicit goal of becoming Prime Minister. Canada is at a crossroads. We can be a junior partner in someone else's sphere of influence, or we can be a leader among middle powers shaping our own destiny. I know which Canada I believe in, and I'm ready to fight for it. The Liberal leadership race is supposed to take months, but the party, desperate and sensing an opportunity, fast-tracks it. By March 1st, Carney is officially Liberal leader. By March 5th, he's in Parliament as PM-designate after the sitting interim leader steps aside. And by March 10th, he's calling for an election set for May 20th, 2026. The campaign is unlike anything Canadian politics has seen. Carney, with zero electoral experience, runs on his resume and his vision. Every ad features clips from the Davos speech, international endorsements from leaders like Australia's PM and Japan's PM praising his coalition of the capable idea, and testimonials from economists and business leaders saying this is the serious leadership Canada needs. His campaign slogan, "Strength through Unity," Poilievre, sensing the threat, goes aggressively negative. His ads say, "Mark Carney is an elitist who's never struggled to pay rent, never worried about grocery prices, spent his career in boardrooms. He doesn't understand your life." It's effective with some, but it has a problem. Carney's Davos speech made him seem like someone who understands big problems, which to many feel more urgent right now. The debates are electric. In the first leaders' debate on April 15th, Poilievre attacks, "Mr. Carney, you've never negotiated a single trade deal. You're a theorist, not a practitioner." Carney responds, "Mr. Poilievre, I've negotiated with the ECB, the US Federal Reserve, and Chinese officials. I've sat across from more world leaders than you ever will. The difference is, when I negotiate, it's because I understand economics and leverage, not because I'm reading political talking points." The audience gasps. It's a direct, devastating hit. Poilievre looks genuinely rattled. In post-debate polls, Carney is seen as winning by 18 points. The second debate, May 5th, focuses on domestic issues, Poilievre's strength. He hammers Carney on housing. "You made homes unaffordable for young Canadians, and now you want to be PM?" Carney doesn't dodge. "You're right that low interest rates contributed. But the real issue is supply. I'm proposing a federal housing strategy that incentivizes provinces to approve development." By election week, May 18th, 20th, the race is dead even. Final polls show Liberals 43%, Conservatives 43%. It's going to come down to turnout and a few thousand votes. Both campaigns are exhausted, both leaders are appearing at 4 or 5 events per day. Election night, May 20th. Results come in slowly. Atlantic Canada splits evenly. Quebec leans Liberal due to Carney's fluent French. Ontario is a knife fight. The prairies go Conservative as expected. British Columbia is surprisingly competitive, with Carney's focus on Asia-Pacific partnerships resonating. At 11 p.m. Eastern, the count is: Liberals projected 157 seats, Conservatives projected 154 seats, with a 170 needed for majority. It's going to be a minority government. At 11:47 p.m., Poilievre gives a speech that's gracious but pointed. Mr. Carney will have an opportunity to govern, but he'll need to work with other parties. At 12:15 a.m., Carney speaks. Tonight, Canadians chose a new direction, not a lurch to the right or the left, but a step forward. This minority government means compromise, collaboration, listening. I welcome that. It's how middle powers succeed, by building consensus. Thank you, Canada. The final count: Liberals 158 seats, Conservatives 155, NDP 23. Carney reaches a confidence and supply agreement with the NDP within a week. He becomes Prime Minister on May 28, 2026. The international reaction is huge. The Economist cover, "Canada's Serious Man." Carney's first act as PM is to announce a Pacific Partnership Summit in Vancouver for June, directly implementing his Davos vision. But the domestic challenges are immediate. Poilievre, as opposition leader, is relentless. Every question period is a battle over cost of living, housing, healthcare. Carney's honeymoon lasts about 2 weeks before the grind of daily politics sets in. His approval rating settles at 54% by July, still strong but not invincible. The real test comes in August, when the US threatens Canada with new tariffs unless Canada aligns more closely on China policy. Poilievre demands Carney capitulate. Carney refuses. This is exactly why we need middle power coalitions. The US is using economic coercion because they think we're isolated. If we coordinate, we can negotiate better terms. He organizes a joint statement from Canada, Australia, and Japan saying they'll coordinate their China policies independently. The gambit works. The US backs down. Carney's approval jumps back to 59%. Poilievre looks weak for advocating surrender. By October, Carney has fundamentally shifted Canadian foreign policy. He's signed 3 new trade agreements with middle powers and increased defense spending to meet NATO commitments while building partnerships with Asian allies. Poilievre, meanwhile, is stuck. His criticism that Carney is an elitist hasn't stuck because Carney's competence is visible. He's searching for a new attack line but struggling. Political analysts say this race will define Canadian politics for a decade. Carney represents pragmatism and competence. Poilievre represents nationalism and populist appeals. This is what happens when a global crisis creates demand for a different leader. His surge was about Canadians seeing competence and vision at a moment when both felt scarce. Whether he succeeds long-term remains to be seen. But his journey from that Davos stage to 24 Sussex Drive is already one of the most remarkable political stories of the decade.